Brian Williams does for you. He makes a good play on that. You mentioned the field. Nice true hops. We've seen it all day long. Ball staying down, the fielder's staying with them and making good plays.
Jared King hammers that one to right center field, and it bounces in for a base hit. Good job to cut it off by Kyle Mish, and he holds King to a single. The single was flunked by a pitch his first go-round and came around to score, courtesy of 3 wild pitches. He's on now with 2 outs in the 3rd inning. Brings up Ben Sword.
King's a hitter. We saw him last year with his older brother Jason, as we mentioned, and he just stands up there, sees a pitch, and drives it. That time he was able to get a fastball from Robbins and drive it into left center field. I thought the ball was going to get in the gap a little more for a double, but good job by that center fielder Kyle Mish out there.
A wave and a miss that time in the offering by Ben Swart. You know, the thing, too, that gets me about Jared King, we talk about his prowess as a hitter, and he is just a sophomore. And you can see what's happened so far in this contest. Some hits, some walks, batters hit, some guys caught stealing, some wild pitches, a run, everything but a hot dog so far in this game.
Last week was the hot dog special, the 25-cent dogs over at Guyana.
Blacklick Field, that was outstanding.
Randy, I tell you what, if we can get a microphone, I'll head out to the center field
with the Hilltoppers
grilling
out
area
there?
with the Hilltoppers. I'll bring us back a few dogs. I'll even bring one for Steve Bassford.
He'll be back in the 8th inning. Next offering, good stop by Pruitt to keep the ball in front of him. Bluffs the throw, the count goes to 2-1, and maybe you better bring back some for the truck as well.
Well, I have the truck in my ear, Randy, so if they'll set me up with a microphone, I'll head out there. I don't mind a bit. You know what? The Celtic's out there. He has a great seat.
Yeah, he's out there in center field. He's waving. He knows.
He knows I have the binoculars on him. Hot dogs, brats, burgers.
And the baseball game is breaking up as well, too. Hopped in there and the throw down to second. I told you, watch Pruitt's arm. He thought he had him down at second base. That's the kind of play that against most catchers, it's not going to be close. You're going to have that base, but with the arm of Brad Pruitt, he made it close, but King is in there safely at second base.
Good block there. He does a good job. Sometimes the ball's just going to bounce away, but I like the fact that he has the confidence in his arm that even though it gets 10 feet away, he'll bounce up and make a good, strong throw. Just barely missed King.
Under the glove of White. King's going to round third. They're going to put on the brakes. They gave him the green light, and then they turned it off and turned it to red. But on the play, Ben Swart will advance all the way down to second base. So Swart goes down to second and puts 2 in scoring position. Chris Huseman has no way of knowing that the ball was going to bounce away from the catcher. But now second and third, and Chris Huseman now is going to have a quick conversation with the base umpire, Darren Hess.
Huseman wants a little bit of interference here, but I really didn't see that on that play. He wanted to ask what happened because he felt like King got hit to him a little bit later than he should. Huseman was watching the baseball go out there, and initially, you're right, he had him going all the way to the plate, but as King got to third base and he was slowed up, he stopped. Good effort by Sword, the hitter, to make it to second base, get in scoring position.
Way inside, good backhanded catch there by Brad Pruitt, the catcher, on the first offering to Alex Schilling. Schilling, the left-hand hitting third baseman, walked his first go-round. Gets that one into shallow center field. Coming on is Mish, going out as a shortstop, and a nice play by Brian Williams. Williams with a couple of good glove plays here in this contest. And we stay at a 1-0 count. This is high school baseball on CSN. We are local sports now. This game is brought to you by the University of Toledo, advancing knowledge through learning, discovery, and engagement. Find more information at utoledo.edu. Our thanks to everyone at Toledo for their great support of sporting events here on Columbus Sports Network. And there he is. Looks like he's had a brat or two.
The mascot, the Celtic mascot, I'm informed that that is a Dublin Jerome ice hockey player by the name of Aaron Johnson, and he does a real good job as that mascot. How does he stand up on the hill?
And no makeup at all. That's how he normally looks, too. That's the amazing thing. 4th inning we go. Bender in there to Kyle Mish for a strike. Johnson now has tossed 10 straight strikes. It's Mish, Pruitt, and Landis due up here at the top of the 4th against Neil Johnson. That ends the string right there. 10 strikes, 1 ball.
Pretty impressive. Put the ball where you want, and really, that's where he wanted it. He wanted it inside, got it just a little bit too close to Mish.
And here's the 1-1. Pops a fastball high, 2-1. You know, with Johnson's frame, you would think he would pop the fastball even faster than he does. It's probably about 83 or so, but this is a guy that I think as he grows and matures, I think he will add some heat to that fastball as well.
Yeah, he'll probably pick up a little velocity as he fills out, and there's a strike there. It's a good spot on the outside part of the plate. normally you do as you mature. But one of the things is he's deceptive with that delivery. It's got to be tough to pick the baseball up out of his hand.
The 2-2 forthcoming. That one stays high at 3-2. We mentioned it with that frame and the way he brings the baseball to the plate. A little difficult. Here's a guy, too, Neil Johnson, that has tossed, are you ready? A perfect game back in 7th grade. Some might say, hey, it was in 7th grade, but did you ever toss a perfect game?
He's pitching against 7th graders.
3-2 is fouled straight back. The irony on the other side, Mr. Robbins was looking at this game and saying, oh, wait a second. I gave up a run in that first inning without the benefit of a hit.
You're exactly right. Still looking for the first hit.
And the full count offering is a comebacker. He's got some time, writes himself. And oh, interesting throw as King kind of had to fall to his right to make the catch, the toss over, but they get the out. So that's the first out here in the 4th inning. Brings up Brad Pruitt.
Looking at the score sheet, both teams have an inning in which they had 2 hits but couldn't plate the run. Most of the threats have come without the hits.
One down for Pruitt. That single in the second was of the infield Friday and to the left side of the infield. And Pruitt, you just like what he does behind the plate and as a hitter too. And here's a guy that maybe for a lot of teams could have started last year, but when you think about what they had at the catching situation last year, it's pretty obvious why he was on the JV team getting a chance to play every day. He fouls that one off. They had Josh Belknap. And then they had John Thiesing as well, too, on the varsity last season. So you got a 1-2 punch at catcher. So you got a guy like Pruitt, who's now leading the team with a slugging percentage at .692, getting a chance to play every day for the JV team last season. Next pitch, check swing.
Well, and that's what high school coaches will do, Randy. If they have a player with a lot of talent who's not going to get many at-bats at the varsity level, and he's a junior or below, put him down on the junior varsity, let him get those at-bats, and then around tournament time, maybe you can bring him up to do some work for you, pinch running, pinch hitting, or playing defensively, and that benefited Pruitt, and he'll probably be the first to tell you playing on the JV was best for him last year, and it's equated or turned into that .362 slugging percentage.
Jam job, little dribbler left side, scooped up by the third baseman. The throw, dug out, but they say he's safe at first. A good job by King on the short hop, and that was a bang-bang play at first base. I think you're going to have to score that a hit, but I tell you what, that was a good play. And Pruitt, as you mentioned, does not run like a catcher.
No, he doesn't. He runs down the line. You see his opposite number, Josh Lento, is coming out to back up just in case it's a bad throw. But Jared King says, there's nothing going to get by me over here. Just put it low, and I'll make the play. Good job by Alex Schilling coming in, but couldn't get Pruitt in time. You're right, Randy. Score that a hit.
So 2 hits for Pruitt in this contest, both the left side, and neither got out of the infield. So here's Landis now to the plate. In fact, when you factor in all 3 hits, none of them have left the infield.
I remember that hit by Landis was right off the left ankle bone of Neil Johnson.
Trickled to the first baseline there before it was scooped up by King. Next pitch. In their first strike.
Let's see if he follows through a little bit better and gets his glove down. We mentioned that at the time, that 6'8" frame, that glove's a long way from the ground, a long way from the foot.
It falls further towards the first base side, one of the two.
Or takes off running.
That's right. Next pitch is slow.
Slow pitch softball. Deliver that 6 to 10 foot arc and start backing up.
Move back towards second base. I am the short fielder. Just happened to play on the hill. There's a lead by the runner. Great shot by Jimmy Ray Jr. and our entire crew. Dominic Jerome, our producer and director, respectively. That one's hammered pretty well to center field, but going to hang up there for Alex Ring, who makes the catch for the out. Well, it kind of died out there when it got to the outfield. We talked about the wind to start this contest, Eric. It was blowing in from center field, but it died down a bit out there.
The flag's not moving at all, just a little bit of breeze, as you mentioned. But here's what I'm starting to think, Randy. I'm starting to think that only 2 home runs for this Celtic ball club has a little bit less to do with the power of the hitters and more to do with this ballpark. It just seems like when the ball gets out there, it dies. As you mentioned, we've seen a couple of balls, including that last one, hit well and just died.
One is fouled off by Ben Williams on the first pitch. He grounded out his first time up. And that's the thing, too. You've got that hill out there in center field where it recognizes Jerome baseball, district champs, by the way, last year. But the dimensions are pretty deep here, too. 325 down the lines, 390 to the power alleys, and 385 to dead center field. And it's a shorter dead center field than it is to the power alley simply because the fence just goes